Good morning. We are here in our Sparta space. You're going to hear lessons in the background, which is one of my favorite
Welcome
sounds
to the Peachtree
ever.
Podcast.
I love walking through
Peachtree
both
Learning
of our buildings
Center
and
is a
just hearing
nonprofit
music
in Middle
and laughter
Tennessee
and chatting
dedicated
and
to training and
artistic things
discipling
happening in every
students in all the
space. It
fine
keeps
arts
you young and
to
it keeps
become
you healthy
excellent
and
and
it keeps you
skilled in order to spread the
excited
kingdom
about
of
what
God
God
into
is
the
doing
world of the
with,
arts.
young
On this
students
podcast, we will
in our
discuss
spaces.
topics designed
So,
to encourage,
just enjoy
uplift,
this noise
educate,
behind
and
us,
equip people
but I wanted
to proclaim the kingdom more
use
deeply
this
in their
week's
own
time to
families
talk
and
about
communities.
the magic of childhood, and I wanted to speak a little bit about the innocence of childhood and what the purpose of that is. And that sounds like a really deep topic, and it is, and we will not cover all the things that we could cover in this space. But something that's kind of been brewing in my mind for a few weeks now is just the idea of childhood being a time of innocence, but also a time of preparation. And historically speaking, childhood was not protected the way we deem it needs to be protected now. Childhood was a time when children learned to do chores and they learned to help out in the family and they learned to be responsible. Children as young as 10 years old could be left in charge of several siblings younger than themselves at home. And certainly there were circumstances that made that something that had to happen, made that necessary. But I don't know that was always a bad thing. It feels like that maybe there was some purpose in that we've kind of lost along the way in trying to make childhood a perfect era of a person's life or a perfect time period where there is no stress and no pain and no nothing to dim the joy, so to speak. And childhood can definitely be innocent, and childhood should be innocent. It should be a time where a person is actually formed in their mind and in their spirit, in their emotions. I read something years ago that really resonated with me that talked about a parent's job being basically 50% done when a child is 5. So by the time they're 5, they have formed their emotional attachments to the people that are the most important. They've learned how to form those attachments. They've learned how to receive love. They've learned how to interact on some very basic levels. Even before they could speak, they were emotionally aware of dynamics and people's facial expressions indicating certain emotions. Displeasure was very real. Happiness was very real from other people. They could interact on very basic levels way before they can speak. So that by the time a child is 5, a parent's job is literally 50% finished because the child's basic grid for dealing with life has already been laid. And that has really resonated as I watch children in my own life and in our experiences, been around children that are young and seen lots and lots of toddlers and 3 and 4 year olds who don't necessarily understand or don't have adults in their lives who understand that, maybe not receiving on the deeper levels the things that they could be learning. And then by the time your child is 12, you're 75% done. So that next 7-year period is really another 25% of childhood development. And again, by the time a child is 12, you still hope that the innocence is completely intact from evil behaviors around them and wicked things. But in this world, that's kind of an unreal expectation. So really what your job needs to be is just preparing them, showing them good, developing in them a taste for truth and a taste for beauty and defining what those things are, helping them discern and learn the difference in black and white. And there are black and white things, and they need to know what those are. And by the time a child is 12, they're able to start receiving a little bit different instruction. And then you can introduce gray areas and you can start having conversations with children in their teens about things that aren't so concrete. But the early childhood years being so important for development and being so important on just a basic human formation level, helping them understand what humanity means. And the things that erode that, and we've talked about this before, but the things that erode that currently appear to be screen time, time away from home, just buckets and buckets of time outside home and not with people that care a lot, or certainly not the people that care the most. Buckets of time just spent in frivolity and in kind of baseless things. And things that really feed people developing in those years are opposite. They're time with family, time with good friends, time reading and running outside and playing and banging on pots and making instruments out of trash and building whole towns and cities out of cardboard boxes, and just being creative and imaginative and learning from stories and learning from songs, ways to be and ways to deal with things, and creative and vibrant and life-filled ways of dealing with life can stand them in such good stead when they get older. So I as summer approaches and you're looking for things to do over the summer, I really hope that this will encourage you to just incorporate some learning, but also some creativity and some downtime, and not feel like you have to have your summer scheduled or your child's summer filled with things, even if they look like good things. A very great sentence to remember is good is not the same as best. And so look for best for your child. And it can be different from child to child. So tailor your summer break to your family and then to your children each, and find things that feed what they need to develop to grow into the people that God made them to be, because each of them is unique and has special things to offer the world when they get older. And you pouring into that and helping them find who they're supposed to be is a really big deal, especially in those early years. So we're winding down our semester at Peachtree. We've got some really great things coming up. Still a lot of fun and exciting events to happen in the next 4 weeks. But we do see a lot of people planning for summer, and there's some great options for summer camps. Ours are all half a day. But I also know that sometimes summer just needs to be lots of downtime in your pajamas in the middle of the day, splashing in mud puddles. And that's also a beautiful thing about childhood, is getting to enjoy those basic things and tucking that away for the future in their hearts. So thanks for listening, and see you next time.
Thank you so much for joining us today. To support this podcast, please go follow us on your podcast platform of choice. And if you're interested in knowing more about the work of Peachtree, please go visit our website at peachtreelearningcenter.com for more information.